The prop gun, right?
Here's the thing. This dude looked me in the face and said, if you don't do the gun joke, they're going to boo you. I don't want to get booed. I said, bro, I don't even have the gun. He said, hold on. I went and got a real gun.
Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Murphy Show. I'm your host, comedian Mike Murphy. I'm here with my man, 100 Grand.
John Grimes.
We got a special guest in the building, man. He's been doing a lot of legendary work with some comedy specials, man, but I'm going to let him tell his own story. So please welcome Royale Watkins to the Mike Murphy Show.
Thank you, bro. Oh, shit. We're in it. We're in it already.
We in it, bro. You want to,
Yeah.
So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks
Glad
for
you
having
could
me,
pull
brother.
up, bro.
Yeah.
I seen you wanted to do some more stuff and, get back in it. I said, shit, man, let's get him more. You know
Man,
what I
all
mean?
you got to do is reach out, you know?
Yeah. No, I figured sometimes some people you think is like approachable or accessible be on the bullshit. And you be like, yo, they be like, yeah, I'll give you a date. You be like, damn, nigga, like, what's that? You know what I mean? Then it'd be people, Russell Peters. I texted him one time. He was like, he forgot. I see him at a comedy store. He like, nah, take a selfie with me in my phone, text me so I know it's you.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up because I'm a man of my word. I was like, oh shit, he was with me when it happened. We seen Chris at the store, me, Tony, him, and Chris.
Yeah.
Russell took the picture, like, make sure you text me, I want to do it. I was like, oh shit, bet. Then you see other people, you be like, nigga, don't do that. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just, you know what I mean?
I try to represent myself as a man of the people. I try to honor my word. And here's the thing. I extend myself as a resource. And it's a process, though. You know what I mean? Because when you reach a certain level in this business and people start seeing a certain value in you that they can take advantage of, some of them take advantage of it, and then some of them try to take advantage of it. And so there's only so much energy we have to be able to kind of maintenance, building, and all of that stuff in terms of relationships. And so I think I'm now especially because of the producing and directing specials, I'm on the radar as a guy for people to reach out to go, can Royale help me? Can he get a special? And so now I have to kind of manage a lot of communication. And some of it is good stuff, you know what I mean? It's like you meet some cool people and then you meet some dickheads that, you know what I mean, that aren't worth having. But I got to go through and assess that for myself, you know what I mean? And so when I connect with cats like you, it doesn't happen immediately, but I see you enough and watch you working and watching you. And then I pay attention and go, okay, Mike's cool, right?
Yeah.
And then once that happens, then if we say, oh, we're trying to get something done and you reach out to me, I'll reach out, whatever it is. To me, it's like it operates in the space of let's just figure out what we can get done together.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So you're a comedian first. That's what you started off.
Yeah.
And then you end up producing specials. Like you said, some people reach out now because they see you producing some of these specials.
Producing and directing.
Oh, shit, my bad.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Directing.
it's that is the work. It's not just the producing because I started off producing, but I had to scale up and work my way up to directing the specials.
So I'm going to get into that, but do you feel like some of the people who are maybe trying to use you or take advantage of you never reached out when it was just you doing comedy to never be like, yo, I got a show for you, I got a spot?
There's plenty of that. Plenty of that, but here's the thing. I look at it like this. If what I was doing on stage was not compelling you to book me at that time, I can't fault you.
Yeah.
It's just me. I wasn't doing something that made you feel like, oh, I want to book him. I want to put him on something. Even at this stage right now, right? I could get an attitude about people that I know that put shows together that know I still got to make a living. I still got a family to feed who don't book me. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it like, oh, I still have work to do. Okay. Like I could look at certain comics. If you watch Tony Rock, if you watch Tony Roberts, there's just certain comics that if you watch them, you go, I see why they're working.
Yeah.
Right? And there's some part of me that's not putting in enough work to make people. Here's a good example of something. Because I co-host and produce Certified Funny with Earthquake here once a month, right? There's a ton of comics look at that show at Flappers and go, I would love to be on that show, right? So all of that comes to me, right? I have the Mixtape Comedy Show in New York City. It is, in fact, the livest comedy and music show in New York City. And I almost want to say in the country, period, hands down. I put the mixtape comedy show up against any show, right? So you have a ton of comics that they look at the pedigree of comics that have been on that show. Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps, Bill Bellamy, Jerry Seinfeld, Tom Papa. They go, Jesus Christ, I would love to be on that show, right? And so all of that energy comes to me, and right, you'll have a lot of comics that'll inbox me like, hey, I'd love to do the show. Right. There was a young lady, Kristen, who was booking the show in New York for a number of years, and she just moved on to something. And so now I have to maintain it for right now. And so one of the things I think I'm very good at is trying to manage everything that comes to my inbox, no matter what level a comic is at.
Yeah.
Right? And if I don't know the comic, I'm here in LA, there's a bunch of comics in New York that I want to do the show. The first thing I'll do by default is go to their page and go, okay, let me look at a clip, right? To
Yeah.
see what they do on stage. I would say 85% of the time, comics don't have clips on their page of them doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Right? And if they do, it's a bad clip, or it's a clip that's so far down their page, I gotta literally go on
Scavenger hunt.
a scavenger hunt to look for. And so as I was looking at that process, I had to ask myself, right? You're trying to get back out here and do stand-up. Do you have clips on the page of you doing stand-up?
Yeah, that's
If
a good
somebody
one.
went to your social media, would they easily identify with who you are and what you do? Like who you were 30 years ago, right? Like it doesn't like that doesn't matter in this new space. Like those people have moved on. The people who book comics from 30 years ago have moved on. The new bookers of comics, they don't know who you were then. So you got to show them who you are right now. And I was guilty of not doing that.
You found it difficult to get back into comedy the way you want to, writing material and working it out and just getting in the
It's
rotation?
different because do I find it difficult? Kinda, right? It is a lot of work. Is it hard work? Not really. I have a family. I have a wife. I have sons. I have grandchildren. It's easy to get comfortable, right? I've been doing this for 30 plus years. And I have carved out a life for myself that feels good. Before we started, call my wife. Hey, dinner's gonna be ready. Right?
Yeah.
Right? My wife makes incredible dinner. Right? My couch at home is built for me. We're gonna watch The Sopranos. We just finished watching a series, Peaky Blinders. You can reach a certain level in this business and get comfortable and keep getting more and more comfortable, right? The more I sit on that couch, the further the imprint of my body goes into it and I get way more comfortable. And then it gets harder to go on a Tuesday. Do I want to get up and run out to go do a spot? Right?
Yeah.
I have been able to manage to make a living doing this for 30 plus years. I know how to navigate and make whatever I need to make it make sense for me. But in order to get to that next level, you got to get off the couch. It ain't coming to us anymore. You got to build stuff from scratch if you really want it. I don't have a manager. I don't have an agent. Nobody's checking for me. I have to check for myself. Right? And so this hustle with producing and directing specials is me fighting to stay in this business when nobody's checking for me on the stand-up side.
Okay, so I wanted to get into how you say you produce and direct. Now, I know how movies work when they produce and direct, but what's the role of production for a comedy special, and then what's the role of directing a comedy special?
Well, they could be one and the same, right? If you have again, a lot of folks can do both things. But the producing a special is building all of the stuff that gives the director the resources he needs to make it happen. The directing of the special is the cameras, the lights, the vision, and pulling all of those things together. So you have the person that says, what's your vision? And now let me go give you the resources, the venue, you know what I mean? Pulling the dates, the times, the permits, all of that stuff. That's producing, right? Directing is the cameras, the shots, how it's going to look, managing the product from when it's put together to when it gets delivered to uh, a distribution partner, an outlet.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, did you direct the one? Okay, the Mike Epps special in Indianapolis.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay. So,
that ain't this last one. It's the one I'm about to sell out.
That's Indiana Mike.
Indiana. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
I just want to double check that really quickly. Okay. So now moving on to the second question here is, how many of Mike's specials have you produced?
Well,
directed, sorry.
I've directed 2. I directed the last one, which was Delusional, and I directed the one before that, which was Ready to Sell Out.
Got it. Okay. Now y'all had a relationship prior, upwards of
We
more
have
than
a
20
relationship that probably goes back 30 some years.
years. Okay. What do you think gave him the trust to put you in at that helm when he did choose you?
Well, it's been a look. Here's the thing. When business was slow for me, I had to scramble to say, who can I get out on the road with and open up for or figure out a way just to stay, you know what I mean, to get employed.
Yeah.
And so I looked at a whole list of comics that I could approach to say, hey, I can go out on the road with you and punch up. I can host, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Mike was on a list of probably about 10 people, said DL, just, you know what I mean, the known suspects. And because when Mike first came to New York from Atlanta, I had did Def Comedy Jam and was working, right? I had shows popping, was booking little shows, putting money in comics pocket. And Mike was one of the cats that I was looking out for. And so I think that he remembered that, okay, Royale's family, he looked out for me. Let me look out for him. And so I just started like, all right, I go out on the road with Mike, punch up, you know, whatever, and turn that into like a hustle that started with that. It's like, all right, I'm out on the road with you now. I'll punch up, host a show, and when it comes time to do a special, I'll come in and help with the special. Come in and help with the special, turn into punching up jokes. The next one, okay, write, produce. The next one, produce. The next one, okay, I didn't produce, I didn't help out here. Now what's like, I'm directing. Like now you got to put me in the chair. And so that's when Indiana Mike, I actually came in at the last minute to help them with that because the person that directed that special was a first-time director.
Okay.
And so they called me in and say, hey, can you help? He was already hired as the director. So I just came in to help, you know, as much as I could.
You're like a consultant.
Yeah, I mean, just came as like, okay, let me help where I can.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I don't have the directing job, but I can help. And so then after that one, I think was Ready to Sell Out. And Mike was like, okay, Royale, you know, we'll put you in the chair on this one. Because I had directed Ryan Davis's special, I think before that. I did. And so through me, like there was a couple of like the Plastic Cup Boyz for Kevin's company. I had, you know, directed those specials. Lil Rel special. I had co-directed that with my producing and directing partner at the time.
Which one? The one that he did at the high school?
Relevant in Chicago. The first one.
Oh, the first one.
The first one.
Oh, that's his best one.
There's no question, hands down. So what I did was just keep like just chipping away at small opportunities to co-direct and put that on my reel between producing and co-directing. You just want people to see that, oh, this is my work, right? And so
it's a resume.
That's your resume. Like, but people got to see something. So then when I'm able to go to Mike, like, here's my director's reel, then his mind, he go, oh, okay, Royale knows what he's doing. This stuff looks, you know, like what a special should look like.
And the one that you directed for Ryan Davis, is that the one that's on Ali Sadiq's page now?
Yes.
That's the only special you got.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Underrated, yeah.
Yeah, underrated.
Okay. Ah, okay. Do you have a favorite? Or you
Of
like
all of the ones that I've done?
Yeah.
I was about to ask that too.
I think
different things
no,
challenge you, so it's not like you care about more.
I think Mike's last one, Delusional, is probably because everything came together on that one. And it's the culmination of everything that I learned on all of the previous ones where you get to look at that one and go, okay, you know.
Have you seen it?
I did. And I told you I watched it on one of the flights going somewhere on the road. To me, that wasn't his funniest special, but I think that was his best special. And that's because he opened up and showed a side of him that you never seen
there's no question.
before.
Yeah.
So that's what I gravitate to. But I don't even remember what the special's called, but he talks about a nigga come around with his wife and he acting different. Like, man, that nigga don't act like that. Hey, how's it going, guys? Where the bitches at? Whatever that special was. Nigga, Tony got me 2 sweaters. That's my... I thought that was...
So it was underrated.
I think that was the one of 2015.
Funny Business. I don't know all of them off the top of my head.
Don't take it personal. Only one mic, Indiana Mike, Ready to Sell Out, Delusional.
I worked on only one mic as
Underrated
well.
and Never Faded.
That's the first.
I think it's probably one of that.
That's the first.
Never Faded.
Inappropriate Behavior in 06. And there's Live from the Nokia studio, but that's a bunch of people. I can't remember which one it was, but the one he talked about about Tony bought me 2 sweaters and the niggas coming around acting different. I was crying the whole time, but with this one was like he got the... Like,
you see him evolving as a comic.
I did this and I was like, oh shit. I was like, this is my favorite.
I think that it's definitely one of his better ones because there's 2 things about it to me that I thought was unique. I thought, one, it didn't come off as like a 2-act special, but it gave me a vibe of like, first act felt like stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
And performative to the second act being more introspective and just giving people a real good layout of a story.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of a good pivot for him because usually, and it's not a negative thing, but usually I thought that his stand-up he's kind of like a wild brush fire with his stand-up. Like his jokes might be here.
He jumps all over.
He's the nigga at the cookout, the lunch table.
He's a funny uncle cousin that you just can't get enough of. You're like, please tell us another story.
Well, it's interesting because, all comics have their style. And there's the part of me that when I partner with Mike to put together something, I bring structure.
Yeah.
And me and Mike will bump heads on some stuff. But what I realize is that people don't show up to a Mike Epps special to watch him be perfect. They show up to watch and then be a part of the fun that he brings to the experience.
Yeah.
And so structurally, he's not Chris Rock. He's not Louis C.K. He's not Dave. He's Mike Epps. And so you got to let him be Mike Epps and add whatever you can add, you know what I mean, in terms of production. But he's been able to turn that into a brand. That's his brand.
You know what? It's the thing that the best analogy for what I could explain that is he's like Old Dirty Bastard. He would have raps that weren't 16 bars. They'd be 15, 19, whatever, just random. Like,
but he's a father to his style. That's what.
Yeah, but that was him. And if you heard him rapping, like everybody should be like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Nah, get to that, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, baby, I like that was.
Yeah.
So when you hear Mike, you like, oh, if he comes out structurally sound, you're like,
what happened?
Nah,
what's going on?
He
That's
changed
not,
up, you know what I'm saying? When he come out and he's just talking like the shit that we hear, be like, nigga, this is what I paid to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we'll compare.
But he's fun to work with, man. It's like I have to say, Mike is such a fun guy to work with because I've seen him do stuff that very few people have seen him do. Like when we go out on the road getting ready for a special, like we go out on the road together, right? We do 2-man shows mostly in the club. Sometimes we'll do a 3-man show. Sometimes we'll do guest spots. But 80% of the time, it's me opening and Mike closing. That's it. That's the show in the clubs for the most part.
Right.
I didn't know you was on the road with him.
Leading up to when we go out to work, it's me. I'll jump out on the road with him. So we're working together. That way I know the show.
Yeah. And that gives you, that's good. So you started the Def Jam days, and I just seen it. We just talking about it. The joke you did.
The gun in the back joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, do you feel like you ever try to chase like a reaction or a bit like that now, especially with, because that wasn't, you can't go viral back then. Only people that seen that was the people that was there.
Absolutely.
Now we see it because they're releasing it, but if you did something like that now, that should have a 2-3 million views. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh shit, you might be headlining all across the country now off of that.
Yeah.
So so there's no part of you to be like, I need to get another one of those to.
No, the only thing that I'm never gonna. That's the whole point. Is like the version of Royale that created that in that moment in that time no longer exists. Right? It's like here's 56-year-old Royale who's married with kids, grandkids, who has a whole different outlook on life right? It's matured into the person that's sitting here in the seat. And so now what I try to do is take something more authentic on stage, like that's who I am right now today. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't mean like something like that, but I mean something that is impactful as that now. Like whether you're talking about your family, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, this shit. Like basically, I only seen you work sets at, at the,
Laugh
what's like the
Factory.
third, not even Laugh Factory. I seen you do the Laugh Factory, but the Too Funny, Certified Funny.
Oh, Certified Funny.
But I've seen it at all three places y'all had it at.
Yeah.
I've seen those, but I haven't seen like, oh, this is, like David Arnold has jokes where he's talking about his family and his kids, rest in peace. Those took off because people was like, I can relate. You got the same.
Yeah.
Your lives are very parallel as
There's
far.
no question.
Yeah, so if you did a joke and was like, oh shit, when you, and now they want your wife at the show that like they did Julie. They used to want, I wanted to see him in San Diego. Where's Julie at? I was like, oh, this shit's crazy.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
nigga's
yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Like his brand, you know what I mean? So I wonder if like, yo, I need one of those where it's
Well,
like, this is
it's
the
not
new
that.
me.
Yeah, for me, I don't need one because what I do is just go where I am at. Where am I right now in terms of my creative process and my life story, and right to that. And it's not even about trying to get a hit. It's just about trying to create the recipe that allows me to keep cranking out the pies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if I try to go, oh, I want this one pie to be the pie that when everybody no, it's just like, just make the pies and keep making the pies.
Longevity.
And know that you're the machine that cranks out the pies, right? Because if you get a hit, you get a hit. If one goes over the fence, one goes over the fence.
Yeah.
Right? But your focus has to be the mechanics of keep making sure you can make pies.
And I think that's important because in the era we're in now, everything is the
Instant gratification.
Yeah, because it's people have shorter attention spans than they did back in the day. Everything now is the quick hit. They need the dopamine, like all that. It's really like if you didn't blow up before the pandemic as a comedian, you kind of got to drop clips and crowd work and all this shit now. When before Chris Rock, Bill Burr, Chappelle, they don't have to drop a fucking clip. Yo, they're coming here. That shit sold out because they already established themselves. Now, if you didn't get in that wave, I could see, not even saying you, but just someone who's hasn't blown up before that. Yeah, us, anybody. I'm just saying anybody who hasn't made a name for themselves in comedy prior to like the pandemic has to rely on social media to get them there. And sometimes what can happen is you focus too much on that and you don't work on the mechanics like you said.
Yeah, but it's like, here's the thing, it's the gift and the curse.
Very much.
Because the awareness that I have now about what you can get done as a comic, not having to go through the machine, not having to go through NBC, ABC, CBS, Comedy Central, HBO, right? If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to set up and do the work, like you can actually get something off the ground. 30 years ago, you couldn't, there was no access to these tools.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you then. I was going to say, because you do produce and direct specials, what do you make of comics that are like, I'm just going to do it myself, make my own special?
What do I make of them?
Like, do you think like that's a good idea, go for it? Or is it like, that's some janky quality, bro?
Absolutely go for it.
Okay.
What do you stand to lose by going for it?
Fair.
What do you stand to lose by going for it, right? If you go, I'm going to go put together the resources to shoot some content. Like, just as like take the word special off of it.
Okay.
Right? Look at Josh Johnson, right? This motherfucker cranks out content constantly.
Weekly, hours.
It's not, if you look at traditionally, I look at the wall of these talented casts that you have, like, and the cycle of putting out a special. Look at Chris and how many specials Chris has put out, right? And the timing. He would put out a special, take a break, go back, start incubating, and then go, okay, now I'm going to focus on what the next hour is. That shit would take like 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would have to wait. I think about great specials, Chris, Damon, Chappelle, Eddie. Like, this shit, they wasn't, Ali Sadiq is putting out content every other month.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no...
The rules change.
The rules, there are none. It's like they get to dictate the pace at which they want to operate, and their fan base is consuming it, and they're able to build touring off of it. So again, it's like the video music box, music you control. It's like video comedy box. It's comedy you control.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Wow.
So let's rewind. Let's take it back. You're from DC. how did you get started in comedy, and what made you want to say, "Oh, I think I should try this out"?
What got me started in comedy was, I think, being one of the two middle kids in a family of 14, and that
God
need
damn.
for attention.
Shit.
It's like,
Wow.
the chaos and feeling like, oh, you know what? If I make people laugh, right, I can kind of take and redirect some of this energy that was abusive whoopings and all of that stuff, and have them go, okay, Royale's funny. And I was always an entertainer. Like in school, I would do talent shows and all of that stuff, and dance and all that stuff. And then when I looked specifically at what the laughter was doing, I went, oh, that's the way to get the kind of attention I want. And so that's when the kind of seed was planted. And then as I got into high school and college, then I was like, oh, okay, wait, girls really love to laugh. And then when I got to college, I would be in the game room and we'd be snapping, joning on each other. And there was a dude named Al Dean who was in college with me. And he took the same snaps and jokes we did at the table in the lunchroom, gambling and so forth, and was hosting a homecoming fashion show. And I watched him do them same jokes on stage in the order. He is killing. And I asked him, I said, you got paid for that? He's like, yeah. I said, how much? He said, they gave me $1,200. I was like, shit, back then? I was like, good Lord. And I was like, okay. Battery was in the back then. Battery went in the back, and I was like, okay, I'm shifting my focus to trying to figure out how to do this real, like, as a career.
You remember your first joke? First good joke?
All of my first jokes, like the big one was about my mother, and me telling my mother, like, what was it? I can't remember exactly. Was your father said what? Your father's out here. It ain't what your father says. What I say is this rhythm joke that, it was very kind of Eddie Murphy rhythm. Your father said what? It ain't what your father said. And then it landed on Jesus said what? Well, Jesus, it ain't what Jesus said. Lightning bolt, and just very
okay. Nice.
So how did the first show go for you?
First show was in the church, and it was because so many of my family members was there. It was my whole family, and because I would imitate my mother for my first jokes, and my brothers would laugh at it. Like my mother's one of 16 kids, so them, my aunts, family, friends, they was there to just support me, right?
I tell people that, like, when you do like a show like that where it's everybody that knows you, it's essentially like you performing for your audience. So they like doing a person who goes up and does an open mic for the first time in front of nobody knows them. They're like, man, I bombed this shit, because they don't fucking know you. You go out in front of your mom and oh my God, Royale's so funny. Like he did that.
Well, yeah.
That sounds just like you. They laugh.
Well, here's the thing.
Then you like, oh, I'm good. Then you go out there.
Here's the thing. There's an incentive for them to get behind me, because the more successful I am, the better their life gets if I'm able to bring the bounty from, that work back to them. Right?
Yeah.
It's like they want me to blow up so that we can all be rich together.
Having the first set with support sounds amazing. I'm like listening to y'all say that. I'm like, what? People knew you at your first show? I'm jealous
absolutely.
of that.
That's what I told him. Like I started comedy kind of off a bet. I was always funny all my life, but again, I told him I never knew you could be a comedian. When I would see Martin and all them, I thought they were doing that because they were already famous. Like, oh yeah, this show, you can put him on.
You
here.
don't know that's the thing that got them there.
Yeah, I didn't know that's where they started. So I didn't know that. I didn't even think that was a thing you could be. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, I wouldn't say that. I thought, like, that's not you. You got to be an actor or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, if I did an open mic, who would come on Twitter? LOL. Like 60 people was like, yo, we there. We pulling you funny as hell.
Yeah.
And I was like writing these comedy blogs every week. And basically, it's kind of like the videos I do now. And they were like, yo, show up. I'm like, all right, signed up.
Yeah.
Showed up. Everybody that said it was coming came. So this is the Improv in Pittsburgh. At the time, it held like, I think like maybe like 315 or something, 320. And
is it the same Improv?
It's the same one, but they renovated it so it could hold more now. But at the time, it was smaller.
Okay.
Like the back wasn't there, I think. And it was like, they held like 315 or something. Now it's like 4.25 or something. But
that's a great room.
Yeah. I pulled up and I was outside early because like I'm military punctual. And I start seeing all the people that I knew from Twitter. Like, yo, we here, bro. Kill it. I'm like, oh, shit.
Well, that's the power of social media.
Yeah. And so when I got on stage, it was like, yeah. I'm like, oh. It feels like you going out to, you sold tickets. Yo, Royale's going to be here. I came out, they went crazy. I was up there with the utmost confidence because,
Of course.
these motherfuckers came here to see me.
Yeah.
They know me. I was in my bag. It went well. I'm like, I'm a star. And I just kept doing it. And I was like, and then I was never really having bad sets till I got to LA.
Yeah.
Because then it was different because
Of course.
Oh, nigga, this is Tony Rock. You like,
Yeah,
oh,
we
shit.
see this all day
These
long.
motherfuckers
This
is
is-
winning. I'm doing my layup at the line like, oh, shit, I'm nice. These motherfuckers is dunking from the 3-point line. You like, God damn.
I like what somebody, I think Rube said, he's like,
It's Hollywood.
Everybody's funny.
Yeah,
What
it's
do you mean you're
Hollywood.
funny? Everybody's funny, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's like
damn.
that's like the
It's
prerequisite.
so real. Like, yeah, everybody's funny. That's why they moved here. They thought they were funny. Like, what else you got?
Yeah,
Like,
so that was, for me, it
It's
was like,
definitely,
it is easier when you go out and it's automatic support.
What's the, you came in like the biggest room you played or the craziest crowd you ever saw? You was like, I'm about to perform for these motherfuckers?
That's interesting because when I did, I don't know off the top of my head I was on the first Def Comedy Jam tour.
I was going
right?
to say, like, I feel like you
And
got
so
something
we,
one for you, like,
a
what?
year and a half, almost 2 years of nonstop touring.
So wait, so
and
that
all
wasn't a tour. Like, they went to different cities with that?
Yeah.
I thought that was just in New York. This Morton hosting it, they just come
Yeah,
out.
once they saw it was it's like a hit song.
Mike,
Once you get a hit
Mike
song,
don't
you
tell
gotta take
nobody that.
No, I mean, I'm real. I thought Def Comedy
Def
Jam
Comedy
was
just
the-
like was literally one of the biggest comedy tours in the country, hands down, period, point blank.
That's probably when the Kings of Comedy started touring because like
Yeah, this is before pre-Kings of Comedy and all.
Like-
Def Comedy was a huge tour.
Damn, that's, you gotta think I was like 7 or 8 when I was doing that.
Yeah, but I knew like if you got something hot, you got to take it on the road. So like,
Yeah, but I didn't know it was on the road. I thought it was
Listen.
just in New York.
Kid Capri, how do you not know this? Kid Capri, Bernie Mac was the host, Bill Bellamy, Adele Givens, Joe Torre, me, Reggie McFadden. That was the first, and then I think Ricky Harris, and then
Rest
they
in
had
peace.
a team 2, a second team that was going out. They got up to at one point where I think there was 3 different tour like going simultaneously, but this was the original one. I was the baby on that show.
That's what I'm saying. You got the first roll.
I got
of that?
the first
That is
run
insane.
of a year and a half being out almost every weekend.
Theaters.
Theaters.
Yeah.
We hadn't hit arenas, but
I don't
theaters.
think nobody was doing arenas yet.
No,
until the Kings
we
of Comedy.
wasn't. That arena shit didn't happen. I think until Kings of Comedy.
Yeah, because they even said they didn't think they could do it.
But here's the thing: we did multiple shows in the cities, like so we
You
go to
could've done an
Chicago and
arena.
did like 3-4 shows. Yeah, so they could have, but they knew that okay, this is a theater tour. Like we may have to add a second and third show, but that was the run. So I don't know, like Chicago theater, some of them big theaters in all of these cities. We hit them and
Chicago
we do
theater.
multiple.
Wow.
Yeah,
But it would've-
Airy Crown, Chicago theater, whatever the biggest.
Yeah,
theater
But it
was.
would have
That's-
been on that
these are
tour, is what you're
historic
saying.
places. Yeah.
Say again.
Your biggest show would have been on that tour, though.
Would have been on that tour.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never trying to think. I don't think I've ever played an arena. There's no I would have known like did I play I think that I played as a part of the upfronts when I did the TV show Built to Last, my show for NBC. The Carnegie Hall, I don't know how many seats it, but in terms of,
Huge, yeah.
played
Huge.
Carnegie Hall, they had me do a set. But I never played an arena.
Oh, you know what I just thought about? Something you didn't tell me. It wasn't like you directly told me. We were all sitting around at the Laugh Factory. You told a story about, I guess you fucking bombed and one of
Oh, that's the Chicago New Year's Eve story.
who was the
in front of
comedian
Michael
that-
Jordan, Bo Dent, and Richard. Michael Jordan, Richard Dent, and Bo Jackson and their wives were sitting on the stage. But I've told that story enough. It's out there.
Who was the comedian that was like, I guess, pulled you to the side?
TK Kirkman.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember.
We had
his
to do
name.
2 shows, so TK in between the shows pulled me aside. And it's like, he's the note was they think you're scared of them, and you're standing in the middle of the stage. Chicago's an aggressive city, and I was
Yeah.
doing family jokes. I'm doing shit about my mom being 1 of 14. Them motherfuckers don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're in the middle of the stage. They think you're scared of them. He's like, in the next show, go to the front of the stage. And if anybody says anything, chew them up and spit them out. Whether you can see them or not, make up some shit. And so that was the thing that came out of that. It's like, go to the front of the stage. You have a microphone. You have to be able to command the room, any size room. Like, and I've been out, again, now I'm going back. It's like, shit, I've been in big rooms with Mike and when we've toured, you know what I mean? So there's been like,
Yeah,
I just can't
I was
think
like, yeah,
of
I'm sure you probably
them
with
huge
Mike as well,
theaters,
yeah.
you know what I mean? 6,000, 7,000 seats.
That's crazy.
I think the Scope in Hampton, Virginia, I think that's the Scope. It's not even me, but my son does stand up.
Okay, I was going to
And
ask you about that.
It's
Okay.
interesting because he was in school at Hampton. He went to Hampton. And Mike came to play Hampton. I was there with him. And Mike, Mike, my sons are like Mike's play nephews. So TC, Mike's road manager, looked at my son Ross. Is like, you want to go up? And he's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's like, it's 7,000 people out there. And I'm still new to this. And he went and called his brother. He always talks to his brother about it. He said, yeah, I'll go up. And I just watched him go up in front of 7,000 people. And he struggled, but he had the balls to go up and do it in front of 7,000 people. And I always think about that. You know what I mean?
Insane. Wow.
Yeah, that's because it's different.
That's it's just multifaceted things to absorb in that. It's a family member doing the family business, right? It's that's dope. But then it's your son, and very rarely do we get to watch our kids do something on such a huge scale. It would take so much longer, right? Like, so you get to see that early on, and for a young comic, I don't care who you are, if you play 7,000, you ain't gonna be able to tell me shit for a year and a half. Yeah, like I'll go back to your next open mic and be like, "How y'all 7 doing? Hey, let me want to work." Like, it's just a confidence boost.
No,
there's take you on.
But even aside from the confidence, it's what you learn. Because again, he didn't do well. You know what I mean? This Hampton, you got grown folks out and they paid to see Mike. They don't give a fuck about no 20-year-old college kid.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Young ass the fuck out of there.
They start booing him. Then he had to rescue it. And then you know what I mean? And then you get women on your side that want to, you know what I mean? And he's not a little kid. He's as big as I am.
Yeah.
So, certain people like, we don't give a fuck. That cute factor is gone. Are you funny?
Right.
Because that son is younger than your other son, right?
Yeah, my middle son. So there's Ross is the youngest, who does stand up. He lives in New York. He does stand up. And then Royce, his brother, who's 2 years older, who is...
That's the one that looks just like you.
Royce looks... Yes,
okay, yeah.
Exactly.
I met both of them at the Laugh Factory.
Yes, Royce looks like me. Ross looks like me, but Royce looks way more like me. But Royce is an assistant over at Innovative in the comedy department, so he's working towards becoming an agent.
Oh, that's dope.
So that is the family business.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then I got a grown son that's grown. And,
You got 3 boys.
3 sons, yes.
Dope.
These is men now, so.
I was about to say,
I got grandkids too.
Say kids. Like,
got 3 sons and 3 grandkids.
Interesting. Well, if you're in New York, I mean, I guess me being starting out comedy in LA, like just going, I'm like, if you get to do any comedy and you start early in New York, I feel like it's a better breeding ground than starting in LA as a first time comic. Like, I moved to LA and then started doing comedy. Yeah. And that was, to me, such an uphill battle because it's like,
the thing.
Nobody will know you here. It don't even matter.
You start with wherever you are.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing about where this business is now. Like, you could do it from anywhere.
Well, yeah, they're thriving in Texas now, too. So
they'll
come to you. They'll come to you now. Yeah.
Especially with the internet, it changes. But, like, so we was talking about this in the green room last week, and I said, if I would have started comedy, like, right after the Army, like 23, I probably would have went to New York because I had knew so many people from the military. I was in New York every other month, hanging with you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love New York. I'd have been.
So when did you get out of the Army?
At what age? 07, 23.
You was 23.
Yeah,
and you put how many years in?
5.
You put 5 in?
I did 5 active and then I did 4 in the reserves.
Oh, wow.
So I got out, I came back home. And then if I'd have been like, if I knew this is what I want to do, I probably would have moved right to New York because I was up there all the time anyways. By the time I got to doing it,
where you from originally?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
So once it was time for me to move, the lifestyle.
Somebody actually from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So that's why I was like the Pittsburgh Improv was going. The lifestyle I had created for myself at the age I was at, I had a kid already. New York wasn't feasible for that. I was a single dad. You know what I mean? I was like, I got to go where I can drive and have you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm coming to LA.
You was a single dad with responsibility of a child?
Yeah. Me and her moved out here together. Just me and her. In December of 2019. Okay. And then COVID happened. Yeah. So we came out for the whole first year, it was just me and her. Then me and a girl that pretty much raised her, my ex, we rekindled it, and then she came out, so it worked out. But I came out here with just me and my kid.
How old was she?
10. So I came out like, we doing it. She was with me like, let's go.
Yeah.
She was with the shit, you know what I mean? So it worked out. And so I couldn't do that in New York. It's trains. I need to drive. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't. And I didn't want to go anywhere where if I quit, I could be back home the same day.
Right.
That's a 6-hour drive max. I was like, I need to be somewhere where I might not be able to afford to move back.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to be in shitty weather like in Pittsburgh. If I want to go somewhere away from home and live below this big ass house I live in, I want to be somewhere nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I came out here, but I realized that stage time was way less available compared to what I've been told about New York because there's
so many more stages.
More stages.
So it's more
So
stages.
that was the one thing, but it was
too.
like, I did what I could. You know what I mean? I don't regret it, but
Yeah.
if I started younger, I probably went there first.
Well, the choice you made is the choice you made that leads you to sitting where you are right now.
Right now. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's life.
I got a question about that actually, life. So you've been doing comedy the entirety of your children's existence, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so how do you think that played a role in? Because from what I see online and like in general, it seems like you guys are pretty tight knit, pretty close family still.
Absolutely,
which is dope. I mean, I'm not saying it to like make light of it. It's more like it's impressive, really, especially the husband wife situation, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't make it through the journey or to come up or to come down.
Absolutely.
So I was curious, what do you think was the biggest factor in how you guys were able to keep it together, and like how you managed important dates in your children's lives or milestones with having?
Well, I made them the priority. Me and my wife have a partnership where we made our children the priority, and I grew up in a large family, and it's something I start talking about. It's like, my parents were abusive. You know what I mean? Whoopings and all of that stuff. That shit was never a badge of honor for me. When I hear other black people talk about it, y'all went through. Nah, I don't give a fuck what you went through. This shit was abusive. And so one of the things that came out of that experience was that that's not what I want for my kids. What I want for my kids is for them to have two loving parents that they can count on, that they can go to for anything. And in taking whoopings off the table, it made me have to learn how to communicate in a way with my kids that they understood what I needed from them without them having to fear violence being a part of the equation.
Right.
And so this thing that I came up with years ago was, if Martin Luther King Jr. can change the world with his words, why can't I change a child? Right? And I live by that. It's like, wow, if he could make all of this stuff that he made happen with the strength and power of his words, right, and change the world with his words, then why can't I change a child? And I say change a child, just meaning simple behavior, right? Because the belt was the thing that made us change the behavior, but that wasn't healthy.
That's just fair, yeah.
And so how I communicate with my children is my version of that. And because of that, I have a friendship with them. If you see me with my sons, people see me with my sons, and their friends will be like, "You talk to your dad that way?" You know what I mean? My kids will say something to me, like just for an example, like, either one of them, they're like, "Come on, fuck boy," you know what I mean? Like shit like that. And here's the thing.
I can see how that could be problematic in the black culture.
My dad, there's no way in the world I would talk to my dad like that, right? I know what the intentions are behind my son's words. I know that they're playing, right? Because I know how much they respect me.
Right.
That they would never disrespect me. We don't have a relationship based on disrespect. So anything that they say in that space is them being funny.
Right.
In our house, funny has a lot of value.
Trump card, yeah.
Funny is the trump card. If that shit is funny, say it, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I know that they love me and respect me enough that they would never disrespect me, because disrespect doesn't live in our house. I've never disrespected them.
Is your wife abide by them same rules where they could say stuff like that, or she's the queen
that's not
bee?
the same. It's slightly
Dynamic.
different.
Yeah,
they can play, but there's still
Not to
a
that
fine
level.
line, because she's just not built the same way I'm built.
Yeah,
right.
That's I figured.
And there's testosterone. There's a male.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's the part of me that's clear that that they know who I am and I know who they are.
Wow. That's well.
So there's a lot of trust built into the relationship.
That's really well put together.
So let me ask you this: you've been doing this for a long time. What's it could be a good story, bad story, just something from the road that is like, this is an interesting fucking story, something that happened, torn, doing whatever, Or in your career, don't have to be in the road. Just like an interest, like something that the people watching this will be like, oh shit, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
The people watching will say, "Oh shit, that's crazy." What do I have story wise that? Oh shit, that's crazy. I mean, I remember Def Jam. There's just a lot of women. I'll tell this story. So the gun in the back bit. This is like everybody can tell a story about women and sex on the road. That to me is like, Um, um, in Def Comedy, there was a lot of it, by the way. You know what I mean? I thank God for covering me during those times because it was, it was just easy.
The prop gun, right?
Here's the thing.
Okay, I was about to say.
When I did Def Comedy, somebody just asked me about that recently. It was a prop gun.
Okay.
It was a gun that I got from Toys R Us, and I spray painted it. Right? So then the tour happens, and I got to fly around the country every weekend, and they want me to do that joke. They know the joke. They know it's coming, but they still want me to do the joke.
Play the hits.
Right? Play the hits. And so I lived in Brooklyn at the time, and I would have to get up at like 3, 4 in the morning to go to the airport to, travel to go do these dates. At 3, 4 in the morning in Brooklyn, like back then, that shit was still dangerous.
Yeah.
And so I remember being out one time and walking down the street in Brooklyn with my suitcase and walking past this brother. And, I'm a Marine. I was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, shit. Okay.
My Marine Corps senses told me, turn around, right? After a split, after enough time, said, turn around. And I turned around to see him turning around to come make the play, right? And I went into the suitcase and pulled out the fake gun just enough so he can see it and tuck it in my back. And then he turned around and went, okay, this ain't what I thought it was going to be.
It ain't safe.
But it was a plastic gun, right?
Wow.
So that was one gun story. The second gun story was that we were in Miami and I had moved on from the gun bit. It just got to a point where it was like, okay, I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's run its course.
It's run its course. They know the bit. I'm tired of doing it at this point. And so we were in Miami and this dude told me, you gonna do the gun joke? I was like, bro, I'm not doing that gun joke. I'm like, I don't, This dude looked me in the face and said, if you don't do the gun joke, they're gonna boo you. I don't want to get booed. I said, bro, I don't even have the gun. He said, hold on. I went and got a real gun. I do the gun bit. After I get off stage, the police are looking. So they have to hustle me out of the venue because the police are looking for me because they heard I had a real gun.
Yikes.
The dude who gave you that
They
was
could tell it
from
was heavy.
Miami?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Miami
One of them-
PD. Hey, come on, black guy, take this.
Yeah,
We got him.
Say it to
I
the
mean,
microphone.
you know what I
with you.
mean? It's like,
That's
this,
crazy.
but there's been so many road stories, man. For days, you know what I mean?
That is intense. Wow, what a journey. Def Jam
For
first Def Jam
days.
tour to 30 years of that. It's crazy. You mentioned Tony. Well, I tour with Tony Rock right now. What we both do, but where'd you meet him at?
I think I don't know if Tony remembers this, but during the Def Jam days and afterwards, I was running around with a comedian, Reggie McFadden, who's from Brooklyn. And Reggie was close with Chris. And Reggie took me over their house, right, to meet Chris or whatever, just like,
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I met Tony back then, but he just didn't know. And then after that, I don't remember exactly where we met after that officially met, but we just, you know what I mean? I was out running around and, but I do, for some reason, me and Tony have just been kindred spirits. Clearly he's Chris's brother, but I came up through the ranks and I think that he saw what I was doing. And then when we met, it's just like, oh, it's just two cool cats. But I love what Tony does, period. You know what I mean? There's very few people who work as hard as he works at being a good stand-up comic.
So, this is your favorite part of the episode since we want to.
Favorite part of the episode. I do this, but it's not the favorite
Own
part.
it.
No, it's more of like a just I like when people have tenure in their career. I like to just ask this question, basically something along the lines of, if you were to open a door, right, walk through any door, on the other side is the, I don't know, 21-year-old version of you. You got about 15 seconds to say something to him. What would you tell your 21-year-old self?
I would tell my 21-year-old self, do not stop doing stand-up. That is so clear to me. Absolutely stay on stage. It's it's a thing that is so clear to me. It's like, get out, put stand-up in front of everything. You have to be a stand-up comedian and above everything else. It's going to be your saving grace.
Good. That's a good one right there. Stay on stage.
Stay on stage.
Stay on stage and write. Stay on stage and write.
That's a good one.
Where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years, your career?
Career-wise, I want to establish myself as the gold standard for our era in terms of directing and producing, while it's simultaneously working to get myself back on stage full time as a comic. Those are the left, right. That's the left, right or left.
So you don't think that it'll come to a point where you got to make a choice which one you want to put your effort into?
No, why would I have to make a choice? You can do both.
Any comic in particular you would enjoy directing?
My son.
Nice.
My son. If Eddie ever returned, would love to direct Eddie's.
Sick.
Chris Rock is at the top of the list. Would love to work with Chris. After that, anybody that to me makes sense. Eddie and Chris, my son. I wish David was still here. It pains me that, I didn't get to direct a special for him.
What's so eerie about that? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I thought about it. So he was going out, he shot his second special or whatever he was going out doing, and he's starting to get like some theater dates. And one of them was a theater in Pittsburgh, which happened to be the theater that made me start doing comedy again after I started the first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, yeah, he was kind of mentoring me. So I hit him up like, can I do this show for you? He was like, yeah, let's get closer to the date and I'll let you know, but I don't think it should be a problem. I'm like, cool. When it got closer, he was like, yeah, you're good. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm gonna wait till I get closer, buy my ticket, you know what I mean? So the morning of, I buy the ticket, I messaged him, yo, I got my ticket. It was like super, the price dropped. I got a notification. I got my ticket, I'm ready to go, man. So if there's anything you need, just let me know. If you need me to coordinate while you anything, whatever, I got you, just, let me know. Never responded back. He usually texts me right back. I'm like, damn, it's going all day.
Yeah.
Later that night, I see Takara post saying that he passed away. I'm like, oh, insane, shit. Right? And the next weekend, I was scheduled to take his little workshop for the comedy. Because a lot of people like Tony Baker, James Davis, a lot of people that I respect said they took his class when he was teaching it. And he was like, this is just a workshop because I want to get back into it. And I was like, all that was lined up and then it happened. I was like, damn. So it went, but he did an interview with a dude named Ed Milet. And I was following this dude for a long time because he had have good guests on.
Yeah.
And he did the interview and I remember hitting him up after that, like, yo, I watched the interview, it was good, blah, blah, blah. You getting everything you've been working for. And he was like, I just hope I'm alive long enough to see it like matriculate. And I was like, yeah, what you talking about? He passed away probably 3 weeks later. That was the last interview you ever did, was that one. And I hit him up right after that. I still got the message in my phone. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I wonder if he felt like why would you say that?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing in my life going on, but like, well, I just hope I'm around.
Yeah, it's a lot of weird precursors to.
Yeah, he was like, I just hope I live long enough to see it matriculate, to come in. Whatever. I was like, what the fuck?
It's interesting because I talked to somebody else and they just said David was working like he knew he didn't have much time left, which is always a weird, eerie kind of, we'll never know.
Yeah.
But the takeaway from me is do what you can while you have an opportunity to do it.
Because you never know what, you know what I mean? And guarantee, I can tell you this, and I can't really speak for him, but
sure,
based on the conversation we had, is that the thing that he regretted not accomplishing his whole career, because he put comedy to the back to be writing.
Yeah.
Because he could have been on the road. He could have been done this. You know what I mean? But he, like you said, he got complacent, got comfortable with them checks coming in. He got the kids. He's like, shit, I'm home every night. Like, this is good money. Like, I'll go do a spot at the factory, whatever. I'm here, but not. I want to be known as a comedian. And then when some people say he was working like he didn't know he had much time, I looked at it like he was trying to make up for time.
Oh, time missed.
Yeah, like shit. I gotta hurry up because I've waited all these years.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that too.
He was like, that's how I felt like he was doing it. But it could be both. But he dropped 2 specials. He affected a lot of people globally. Like, oh my God. So I think that like once all said and done, he'll be like, it might not lasted in comedy as long as I wanted to, but it had the impact that I wanted to. That's how I feel.
Well, I mean, look, there is, again, there will be the wall of comics that we all look at and go, man, look at Patrice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Patrice had a
longer run,
what could have happened, But that's, this is all God's divine plan for, like, we get to do what we get to do while we're here. And then after that,
I think that's in every, like, Len Bias.
Of course, yeah.
He's from your city, right?
He's from Maryland.
Yeah, so Len Bias, they was like, yo, he's about to be.
No, there's no question.
Gets drafted and dies that night, you know what I mean? Drug over. Like, you always like, what at Biggie? Died at 24. Absolutely. Pac died at, I think, 23. Like,
there will always be that.
You always wonder, like, and Pac accomplished a lot. Like, when you think about it, like, damn, this nigga did a lot in that little bit of time.
Yeah.
So it's like always one of them things you're like, shit. But again, his impact will last. You were like, yo,
there's no question.
Yeah, so.
But that's, again, the beauty of having shot a special.
Yeah.
Right? That special now lives on. We can go back and revisit the work in him
is there.
And you know what I mean, and wax nostalgic and feel good and
inspires future works.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like, who was inspired by Biggie and Pac? Tons of kids, right?
Yeah.
Tons of who's inspired by these comedians. Like Patrice is like, I saw Patrice and was like, wait, what? You can do comedy like that?
Yeah.
It changed my whole approach. I hadn't even hit a mic yet. I was just like, I thought comedy was just this way. I'm like, I didn't know you could do comedy like this.
Yeah.
So like, these people did their thing in the time they did it in, but it was enough to impact who he was supposed to impact. Like, that's just how it goes. He might not have get the broader scope of who all could hear his comedy one day, but he impacted or influenced somebody that will get that megaphone to a bigger audience that can go, I like this type of communication. Where did it come from? They got to hear this guy say, I got it from Patrice. I got it from blah, blah, blah. I got it from, Richard Pryor. So every work does something to somebody, and the tertiary effects of that is even bigger. Sometimes you don't get credit for it, but you know what you did, and that person who got it from you know who they got it from.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you just gotta go, I see my DNA. Sometimes you just gotta see your son. Go, hey, now. That's my blood now. That's my blood over there.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, that's sometimes you can just take pride in that, knowing like I did. You know what I did to that, So that's just dope in general when you do the work and your work's out there.
Absolutely.
They can't deny it exists.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna wrap, but I want you to look at this camera and tell them 2 things. One, anything that you want the people to know about you, and then where they can find you on social media and whatever you got going on in the future that you think is pertinent.
Anything that I want them to know about me, I'm right-handed. Nah, it's the obvious. Well, look, I'm on all social media at Royale Watkins. My wife and I also do a podcast or a podcast type show called After I Do. So anybody that's interested, this thing, if you go look at my page, you'll see a lot of stuff with me and my wife, but that's the After I Do portion of like who I am as a husband. So you can check out After I Do. I'm in New York City every 3rd Sunday at Gotham Comedy Club with the Mixtape Comedy Show. And I'm in LA at Flappers every 3rd Tuesday with Certified Funny, co-hosted by myself and Earthquake. And one of the most valuable things you could do is just tell your folks to follow me on all social media, because the goal is to get back out on the road.
Cool, man. So I appreciate you coming by, man. It's a great episode, because you taught me something I didn't know about the Def Jam tour. I'm glad I found that out. Now I don't got to say it no more. Somebody asked me, I'm like,
that was a shocker.
If somebody asked me, I'm going to act like I've been, damn, you ain't know about that?
You gotta
I'm
pass
doing
that along.
Bro.
Absolutely.
Like, oh,
but thank you for your service, by the way.
No, thank you for yours, too. I didn't know that shit. And Earthquake was in the service. I didn't know that. One day I was doing this house, I was doing Quake's house. So I was like, you served? You was like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit. And I think, so real quick before, Vlad just did Dion Cole's podcast.
Okay.
And I was there. I filmed it, right? And so at some point, somebody, I guess Kat said Earthquake couldn't read or some shit. I didn't hear that. And I watched the interview, but he was like, he was in the Navy, did it, like, there's no way he was protecting like this.
Yeah.
He could fucking read. And I remember him saying that, and that stuck out through the whole thing. I was like, they thought this nigga couldn't read or some shit?
Well,
like,
I mean, it's an easy thing to throw out there just to disrupt. You know what I mean?
But I had never heard this. When he said it, I was like,
right.
But he was like, he was in the Navy. I was like, I knew that because we talked about it. But yeah, that's dope, man. So again, man, it's been a great episode. Thanks again for stopping through. You're
Thank you
welcome
guys for
anytime.
having me, man.
I'm your host, comedian Mike Murphy. This is my man, 100 Grand.
John Grimes.
Royale Watkins.